Brought to you direct from Studio 3B at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, the American Hardwood Advisor is your source for trends, tips, and insights into how the building industry has evolved. Join me, Steve Stack, along with guest builders and industry leaders as we talk shop and go in depth on what it takes to be the best of the best. Dive into topics like architecture, industry trends, project plans, historical tools, tricks of the trade, and life's lessons from more than 6 decades of experience in the hardwood lumber business. Hey everybody, Steve Stack, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, Canfield, Ohio. We are back at Studio 3B, and this is a continuation of a conversation I had with Miss Lori Baird, second generation, one of the second generation that they paid their tutelage under the first generation, and now they've got their third generation kids involved. And in our first sit down, Lori, we talked about the beginning, 1960, and we caught up to you coming back to the business after your registered nurse stint with the Cleveland Clinic back in the mid to late 90s, and my gosh, looking back at that, and I know you can, and I can. I can remember when we opened the new showroom.
I can too.
That
was a big day.
Right?
Yes.
And so that was in '89.
To go through that type of a tragedy and to build it to where it, developed to the showroom.
Catastrophic fire.
Yes.
Catastrophic
fire. Yes.
And
I didn't know which way we were going to go, how things were going to turn out, but
it
stayed strong.
It didn't even have to be decided. The three brothers and the sister knew.
Yeah, they didn't even blink an eye. We're gonna stay strong and stay together in this, and we're gonna.
I remember the media being out there the next morning. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were here all night.
Right.
And the next morning, all of them were approached, and even second generation, your brother, I know, was approached. And, well, what are you folks going to do? Mm-hmm. What are you folks going to do?
There was no question.
It was unanimous.
Yeah, there was no question what was going to happen.
We pick up, we dust off, we get back in business as soon as we can. I think we were actually only shut down for 2 days.
We brought in the trailer. The trailer came in, and it was set up.
Yep.
And we were continued business.
Strung new phone lines in.
It just,
And because back then that was your lifeline was the telephone.
Was the telephone. Yeah, we didn't have there was no cell phones
So as things progressed, all of our duties changed, and you started finding yourself, and I have to chuckle because where I was going isn't going to it's not going to be where I wound up. You started receiving more responsibility from Aunt Helen.
Mm-hmm. Within the office, yes.
All of them did, but Helen always had an open ear for any of the employees.
Always. They did, yeah. And she always was there to listen and to help them through whatever maybe situation it might be, good or bad. She was always there to listen.
There was a number of people you could go to in the family. Mm-hmm. H, as we commonly referred to her, and her husband, Whitey.
Uncle Whitey. Loved Uncle Whitey, yeah.
You needed something.
They were there.
Ask, right?
Right, ask.
Whether it was an extra $20 to make the week, or whether it was a day off to spend time with
your family
or something.
Right, absolutely.
So we jump fast forward at 2022, And over the course of the last 10 years or so, you have grown into this position as our company has changed, as business operations have become more complicated. We didn't know what an HR department was.
No, we didn't. We didn't know what it was. And I can remember one day, Scott and I, second generation, him and I were talking, and it kind of developed into, we were growing, and we had more employees, and we have the 401k, and hiring process, insurance process, just everything kind of involved with HR, and we're like, this might be a good time to develop a department, the HR department, and so that's kind of how it developed just as we grew, and of course now we have 135 employees, so there is definitely a great need for that.
And we talk about HR and policies and employee handbooks. We never knew what an employee handbook was.
Right.
You were expected to be here at
Just
7:30,
right.
and you got to leave at 4:30 or 5, and you were going to do that 6 days a week.
Exactly. Right. That's just, right.
But times have changed, and one thing that hasn't changed with the policies and procedures and the craziness of healthcare that you get to juggle as part of your duties today, and man, you have support from within the family, but you're on point.
Yes, I'm like when it comes to that, I'm like I'm the go-to.
Right.
I'm the go-to person for all of that.
And it's not unusual to the guys knock off in the plant at 4 o'clock. It's not unusual to walk out of my office onto the balcony and walk past your office and have 3 guys standing at your doorway,
right,
with questions, concerns, whatever,
right,
and or throughout the course of the day.
And that's the one thing that I love about my job now, is to be here for the employees when they have questions about maybe insurance or their days off, or whatever it might be, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help them, and I think that's something that I enjoy doing, because you need, especially now where we've grown and where the business has taken us, and with 135 employees, it's important to have someone who can kind of help with those questions and answers and be there for them.
It is, and I think back, and it's reflective of Aunt Helen and yourself, and for that matter, your dad and Howdy and Paul. We've got a great longevity.
We do. We have a great group of people. We are so fortunate. And I always say this, I never like to use the term employees, because I don't feel that, that it's their employees. To me and to the family, I feel like it's one big family. And that's the thing about family business that I love so much, is working together as a team. It takes all of us every day to keep this going. So it's everyone's job is just as important as someone else's job. And I always say that, from the salesman getting the sale, to the guys in the back end manufacturing and production, to the truck drivers as it's going out the door. Every piece of this is important, and everyone's job here within the company is important. One is no greater than another. It takes everyone to get that product through the door. So or out the door into someone's door, I should say.
Yes, and I'm thinking back within the workforce, within our coworkers, the Lannerman family comes to mind.
Yes.
The Cronin family comes to mind.
Yes. Ewings.
We've had a few Griesels
Ewings.
come through.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we probably have a half a dozen or more families
Drew Hards.
Drew
I mean,
Hards.
we could, yes, that have been longevity, that have been with us, and we have we have dads and sons, and you know,
and brothers,
cousins and brothers.
Yeah, you know, and that says a lot about the approach, and
that's where I think for us, we, as far as like having to recruit people, we've never really had to go out and do recruiting per se, because we have been so fortunate that a lot of that has been through, again, a family member, a friend, just word of mouth, telling another friend. So we've been very fortunate.
we have been. We've been blessed over the years, but in today's world, post-COVID, things changed.
They changed.
And
Yes.
It takes a lot of guys to produce the quality products that we manufacture here.
Yes.
Like you said, from the lumber coming in, how it's taken care of, through the dry kilns, out to Terry's
Absolutely.
rough mill out back, into the shop, right down to the guys in small packaging and LTL freight.
Every job is important.
Exactly. And you find yourself looking for folks now. We've never, like you mentioned, we've never had
To actively recruit or right.
to come out publicly and say, hey, we need workers.
Right. Never.
And we need workers at every capacity.
Mm-hmm. We need them on all levels.
Right? So that's different. But we're just not selling lumber in the Mahoning Valley anymore.
Nope. We're selling across the country.
All across the country, all 50 states and Canada, and every once in a while we'll get a dedicated freight guy. We'll ship it to New York Harbor, we'll ship it to Miami Harbor, and it goes beyond. I mean, we don't offer that service, but with a broker, people do that.
People do it, and we have done it, right?
And so things have changed. Things have really changed, and you know, we have to impress upon people, this is a pretty nice place to work.
It is. I think, of course, I've been born and raised in it, but I think that it's really a pretty special place.
You know, and one of the things, and we're charged with it now.
Yeah.
With some of the younger people coming in, we have to impress upon them how this place was built.
Absolutely, because that's the importance to me of it, was how first generations morals and values and how they built the business and what it was built on. And it was built on hard work and relationships, building relationships. And I think that's part of why we've had such longevity too with customers, not just customers, but employees that have been with us for a long time. It's building those relationships. And I think that's what sets us apart from other companies and other businesses. I think we have a lot here to offer.
A few years back, and this might be for general public information, but for anybody entertaining coming to work at Baird Brothers, we've got a little saying, right? It's over there on the wall, Baird team, right? Building an atmosphere of importance, reliability, and direction. Together, everyone achieves more.
Right.
And
we have to stay together.
We have to live that.
Yes, we do have to live it.
And that allows us to continue some growth. Your dad was a stickler, man. He was about growth, but he was about controlled growth.
Right.
And it's worked, to that point, to this point. And my gosh, what you and I have witnessed.
Over the years, yes.
You know, and it's...
And talking about from, you know, of course I wasn't around when they started in 1960, but from when I was a child to where we are today and the growth and the changes that have taken place. But the one thing, and I emphasize this too on our third generation kids coming in, is don't forget your roots. Don't forget where we started from and how we started. And I think those values will continue to help us grow through the years.
We still see it today, whether it's family or senior people. There's no job beneath you.
Absolutely not. One of the things that my cousin Tim tells the kids, don't ask anyone to do a job that you wouldn't do yourself.
Right.
And I have encouraged that in my kids and you know, my nieces and nephews, and you know, that, you know, jump in, you know, work with the guys. You don't know what you're going to learn from them either. We have a lot of skill here, and with the longevity, jump in, show them you want to learn, be a part of it. And that's the one thing that I've always tried to encourage them to do. Because that's how we were taught as from first generation, that they worked in it too, and they were involved, and they worked on the floor, and they worked alongside the guys, and so it's important.
Oh, I think, you know, think back again, and that's the way it's always been. Mm-hmm. That's the way it's always been, and you and I, it didn't matter whether you were pushing a broom or filing paperwork for Aunt Helen, right?
No, right.
and a lot has changed. Things have definitely got more complicated, but with the right approach.
But I don't think, I guess with the right approach, like you said, I don't think that it has to be complicated with the right approach. I think that as long as we, and of course, you know, business has, like you said, post-COVID, or I don't know if you can call it post-COVID, but coming through all of that, we learned a lot even coming through all of that. But I don't know if as things have gotten a little more complicated and changed, I think as long as we all stay together and we stay strong and we're working towards the same goals, which we all are, and we keep communicating, I don't know how complicated it has to be.
As much as we talk about change and growth, some things haven't changed.
No.
And I cannot think of a year since I've been around here that there has not been reinvestment back into the company. Many different ways.
Yeah.
Whether it be technology, mm-hmm. phone systems, computer systems, website, marketing, and your father, every year religiously, he traveled to the International Woodworkers Fair.
Every 2 years.
Yep.
It was a big, and I remember as a kid when I got to be old enough, because they had an age limit on it back then. So you couldn't go until you hit the age, but I can remember every 2 years, and my dad made it a point. Who wants to go? Like, this is what we're gonna do. And it was always kind of a special trip for all of us to go, because a lot of us family members went. And it was a great time to see, like, just to be together as a family too, to travel down there, but to see the technology and what were you going to come back with, and what maybe equipment were we going to purchase, and what changes we were going to make. And you know, some of the family members just went down to that show.
That's
and
where I was going.
And they came back with, you know, we had some second and some third generation that went with them. And my cousin Terry walked in the office and said, well, we're going to take some of the youngins with us, you know, this year. And so they came back, and they came back with some, you know, saw some new technology and some new ideas. So yes, it's always changing, always changing.
And you just hit on the point that it was second and third generation made the trip this year down to Atlanta, for the IWF, and now we're the ones that are trying to make the impressions and give guidance, or don't stick your hand in there, it's going to get pinched, and leave them do it just because.
Right.
But I've had the I don't even want to call it a privilege. I've had the fun of traveling with some of the third generation, and it's nice to see their eyes open.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they have a lot of energy, and they have a lot of ideas, and it's really great to see. And they are all working. They're all working in it, and they're all working alongside, learning it, growing in it. It's really great.
As far as the multi-generational, the second generation, and especially the third generation, I like to think of it, to keep my psyche right. We need to impress upon them and employees its opportunity. Mm-hmm. And whether you're a new hire coming in here, you might have came from another woodworking shop. You might have came from a different career. Mm-hmm. But knowing that sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. And you come in. Your father used to say, Hood, I'd ask your dad. Your dad would ask me. Conversation would start, your dad asking me, what do you see out there, Hood? I said, I don't know, Dick. I said, things are slowing down a little bit. He said, don't worry about it. Get up in the morning, put your boots on, and let's go make something good happen.
Right, exactly. Always a positive.
Right?
Right. Always a positive outlook on, we're going to move forward and we're going to keep going. Yeah. So,
me having a good idea of who Lori Baird is, this is an unfair question.
Oh boy.
Oh, we have so many things.
You said this is an unfair question.
No, we have so many things. When the dry kilns were added on to, and when the trim building was built, and then the pre-finishing facility and pre-hanging doors that we never did before, and there's milestones all along the way. The new showroom opening up. It's a loaded question, but I got to ask it. What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I'm most proud of, as I said to you, I don't like to use the term employees, but I'm most proud of like who we are and who we continue to be. Our employees are amazing. They always, every day, there's something new, but I'm most proud of the team that we have built over the years and the people that have been here and been with us all these years, whether they're coming out, whether they're new here starting, maybe they've been here, a few months, or whether they've been here for 40 years. I'm really most proud of our team and our family for staying together and staying strong in building this company. And we have so many bright things coming in the future, and seeing third generation coming in and what they're doing. I'm really proud of everyone. I really am, because it takes all of us. I say this every day. It takes all of us to make this work. And without everybody, you can't do it. So I'm most proud of the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Steve Stack, Lori Baird, our latest edition of AHA. Stay tuned. Follow us, Facebook, Instagram, and we got more good stuff coming at you. For all you folks listening, thanks for talking shop with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the American Hardwood Advisor series, give us a like and subscribe. For more tips, projects, and inspiration, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or at BairdBrothers.com. Until next time,